to address?
Yeah. Friends, today we were confronted by a situation which has been something which can be considered and termed as very, very unprecedented. You have been privileged to witness the proceedings of this August House for the decades in the past. And today, in view of what is considered not inconsistent with the provision of the rules of procedure and conduct of business in the matter of discharging the procedure of the August House, our members from the opposition have raised this issue. You have seen that this issue pertaining to deviation from the rules of procedure and conduct of business have been raised last week also and today also. And the members who have raised this issue under the relevant provision of rules of procedure and conduct of business to raise the point of order under rules 300 of the rules of procedure and conduct of business, drawing the attention of the chair pertaining to those relevant rules. As far as today is concerned, you have seen that the rule 142 and 143 was referred, and in continuation to rule 144. So therefore, as we looked at, our responsibility lies in sending a clear message in the floor of the August House to the people in authority. You have heard the contention of the government, who have said that this overall calendar which has been placed before the August House has also been based on the proposal of the BSE approved by the House. Let us remember one thing, which is the usual practice. The usual practice is that, yes, Business Advisory Committee sits. The Honorable Speaker calls the meeting of the Business Advisory Committee, of which the chairman is the Honorable Speaker himself. But we decide on the working days, total working days. But all the placement of the items to be discussed are put up and placed before the August House on the day of the first day, the first day of the session. And you have seen how usually the overall practice, the trend of this overall practice has been is that the Business Advisory Committee usually decides on the total number of working days in the calendar. Subsequently, as I have said, the overall calendar in terms of the list of business, we're talking about list of business. List of business in every given calendar day of the calendar. Now the list of the business, we were today and before also raising the point of order pertaining to the list of business. Now in the list of business, as per the rules, budget has got two portions for consideration before the August House. One is that the general discussion for which the Minister in charge of Finance will have the right to reply. Subsequent to that only, every demand for grant which should be voted by the August House is moved and put to vote. It's very clear. That's when the cut motions are, if there is any cut motion to be moved or tabled by any member of the August House, do so. And that is where we really fulfills our responsibility pertaining to the scrutiny of every single paisa that is proposed in the budget for spending by the government out of the public exchequer. In other words, out of the consolidated fund of the government. And unless this is done, then there is no other space where it can be subjected to that scrutiny. Therefore, inconsistent with this binding responsibility that is vested upon all the members of the August House, particularly to the members of the opposition, we have made it abundantly clear. And we are seeing that this trend is becoming a precedent. Therefore, keeping in mind their attitude, their body language, we understood that they will bulldoze the same thing in coming days also. And therefore, we would not want these precedents to ultimately become a regular exercise. We maintain that anything which is in complete deviation from the rules of procedure and conduct of business must be corrected, and there must be sincere intent from all concerned, particularly the government, to correct them. But today's attitude, today's their body language seems that this will become a precedent, and we want to send a very strong message, which is loud and clear, that opposition would like to send this message that we express our disapproval to this approach, and therefore we resorted to walk out to ensure that this does not become a precedent.
Well,
Yes, you have to again reconnect to what I have said. The Business Advisory Committee will decide only on the number of working days, in as far as the number of days which will be considered in the calendar, whether it will be 7 days, 10 days, or more, or a month. And during that time, during that agreed period of time, agreed days for the session, how many days are for the government, how many days are for the private members? Okay, there is usually a formula. Okay, if this much is the day which is required for government business, then this many days will be for the private members' business. Now, you have seen that the government business, it is their job to present before the Business Advisory Committee. Now, if you go by what is listed in the list of business, that means the Business Advisory Committee was misled. You get my point? Because they will have to do their own homework. How many days they will require for the presentation of the budget, then which is followed by budget discussion and the reply from the Minister in charge of Finance, subsequent to which every demand for grants is put to vote and the budget is passed. Now it is their job to decide how many days they will require. That means they have hidden from the Business Advisory Committee as to how many days they will require. You're with me? Or any lack of clarity? It is the job of the government, which is represented by the Minister in charge of Parliamentary Affairs, to indicate how many days will be required by the government in as far as government business is concerned. How can they subsume both supplement your demands for grants and the discussion on budget, which is completely in deviation of the rules? Rules doesn't provide this space.
So this will remain as not corrected. So what is the way out now? It will remain in the assembly proceedings as not corrected. So
We only want that what wrong should not become right in future. Otherwise, people will tend to think that what is wrong is completely, meaning abnormality will become normal.